Hi. So I didn't end up doing part 2 of the sunflowers yet. They're maybe just a little bit big and vigorous and bold for the mood I'm in at the moment. And instead, I wanted to continue with the kind of idea of consistency here with the creative output, and just knowing that it's actually, however small, that it's good for me, and it's good to, just as a kind of dedication to my creativity, I suppose, that I wanted to do something before going to sleep tonight. And I wanted to kind of prove to myself as well that it doesn't have to be like this big grand gesture, that that I can follow whatever the mood is in myself, like. And if I'm feeling a bit like being gentle, which I am, because my ribs are still quite sore, then if I feel that way, I can do just some small little sketches or whatever. We'll see whatever happens, I'm not sure. But it doesn't have to be like all dynamic in order for it to feel like the creative flow is being engaged. That's not necessarily like massive, bold moves. It can be, it can have the same force. I don't know. You know what I mean? It can be. It doesn't, like a move like this can have the same potency as a move like this. Just a wee still thing. It can have the same potency. Yeah. It's the quality of the mark making rather than the length of it. I think. Oh my goodness, I'm feeling quite sore. So anyway, I just thought I'd get I was going to do the roses, and then I thought I really like the cyclamen, but I felt like you'd be sick of seeing cyclamen. And then I thought there's a lesson there too, that it's okay to do the same thing over and over. Like, my goodness, you're really close to my head there. One of my favourite artists, Andrew Wyeth, did many paintings of his German neighbour Helga. Like hundreds and hundreds of paintings and drawings of her. So maybe cyclamen, or the cyclamen flowers, my muse, maybe. I don't know. And actually, the lighting isn't so amazingly inspiring. Maybe I'll turn on this lamp back here. That might change things. It's going to lighten them up a little bit more. So you can probably tell I'm in my bed. I've just watched a beautiful film called Down to Earth, with a family going all over the world visiting medicine kind of people from all different, like, indigenous groups. And yeah, it was a really lovely film. Right, so now let's see. I think it is the cyclamen flower itself that I'm going to draw here. I mean, over there I've actually got on the other dressing table I've got some orange lilies, which are also quite nice to draw too. But here, let me just do this tonight. Might even just simply look at one. Just look at one flower. There's enough in. Is there something about the universe in a grain of sand? There's enough information here. Okay, so there's these little tiny, little kind of almond shapes, folds. And they're being identified because this one is really bright in relation to the one behind it. And the one behind it has coming up from there. I don't think you can see this, can you? I'll just put you a bit closer to the page and hopefully you can see the pencil marks there. They're all shaky. Yeah, I suppose the thing is, if I'm, and you're blocking my light now on there. I suppose the thing is, if I'm trying to do this gentle creativity thing, I need to have a good setup in advance where you can actually see, because they tend to be smaller things. So I guess a compromise would be, if I were to use, instead of the pencil, I could just use a pen. And it would be a bit darker. So hopefully you'd be able to see it a bit more clearly then. You still can't actually see the flower that I'm drawing anyway. Yeah, sorry about this. I think I'll just end up letting you focus on the drawing rather than on the flower, because the two together is just going to be too tricky tonight. So there are the two kind of almond shaped folds I was seeing, and now yeah, so you'll be able to see a little bit more clearly with the black pen. And that bit coming down there is a little bit smaller than the fold that's bright there. It'll just be a few minutes, now. It's not going to be a big deal. I put Maisie into her bed. She was lying beside me there for a while the movie was on. It was quite an incredible movie, actually. I think it's a few years old. So there's a petal. The thing I like about the cyclamen is there's some, I suppose they're clear shapes really. Every layer in the flower has got its own clear shape, and there are not too many of them, and they're different enough from each other that it's an easy way to achieve order. Like even the cast shadow of this petal on the petal beneath it has got a distinct shape that helps to describe, I suppose, that will hopefully help to describe the depth of field that the flower sits in. Okay, and then this is the bit that's catching the light. And then behind that there's another petal being overlapped by these front two, as well as looking at the shape of them and considering the difference in the tone between this one back here, which it's in a little bit of shadow, and that one is quite bright in front. This one is a little bit darker with the veins, and the petal are going in this direction, so as I'm shaking the pen, the flower is shaking. Okay, and then there's the thing of the difference in volume too. So this petal here is significantly bigger than any of the others, and that offers a contrast as well to the more convoluted action there. This instead is a clear area, so it's just bringing that contrast in as well, which is kind of nice when it comes naturally. And at the top of this there's a V-shape shadow There's something almost like sand dunes about this for some reason. Okay, and then there's the bigger dark petal that's behind, so that's doing that. A few jobs. I actually am conscious that I've not sent out my newsletter yet, but I'm trusting that it kind of comes to me to do it at a time when it feels right, really, around Christmas, New Year. Once I did it on Christmas Eve. Another time I think it was after New Year, or maybe it's never been after. I don't know. I think I always felt I wanted to be in touch before the year turned into the next one, but that didn't happen this year. I guess I felt because I did the calendars and the Facebook sale as well that there was a fair amount of communication with folk that I know. Still, I've had some ideas about what I'd like to share. I come across really lovely quotes. Like last night I was drawing. I did an online dance thing on, I think it was New Year's Day or maybe the 2nd of January, and just did it in my living room. And it was a lovely ritual, really. I was kind of guided through, like, with music and things, moving from one year into the other, and physically moving, having a couple of spots in the living room. Having a couple of spots in the living room that represented, the past 2020 and 2021, or maybe even, future beyond that. And one of the things to visualize was, kind of a future self or higher, the spirit within kind of coming with a gift. And I had some lovely images come to me as that was happening. It was gift of rest, I think, was what I was being offered. But it wasn't just rest. It was the visual that came with it, which was really beautiful. Like a hole in the ground, in this rich brown earth, and there was a circular, kind of spirally, hole-shaped, circular-shaped hole. Sorry, and within it was the figure of I'll just draw it here actually. So it was this kind of spirally, kind of a hole, and then inside was this resting figure, and it was me, I think. It's like curled up in the earth with my hands wrapped around my legs. So my knees were kind of drawn up to my chin, and there was a feeling of being curled into like a womb, almost like safe and restful and peaceful, something like this. It all felt very fluid and circular and rich, really. There was a rich kind of red-orange quality to it, gold, but dark, like all out here was dark brown, and deep restful peace. Yeah, something like that, very simple, but it felt powerful as an image, and it actually brought me to tears. I don't know if that was it completely. What it felt like, actually, a little bit as well, was, I'll just do the other image that came to me was that I wasn't even sitting up, like, but I was kind of lying curled up on the ground sideways, which felt even more restful, like
my knees are up here. This is turning into a different video. So my knees were like this, and arms encircling. And the thing that was lovely about it too was that there was blossoms, there was flowers all around me, like being dropped. They'd been dropped on my body as I lay there. But my head was on the ground. I did a few drawings since then, and I'm still trying to hit the nail on the head with that. But it was lovely to introduce some colour and things to one of these drawings last night, and I ended up posting it on Facebook actually. It was one where I came up with a Rumi quote that seemed to fit with it. And the Rumi quote was, I hope I get it right now, but listen to me. For one moment, quit being sad and hear blessings drop their blossoms around you. And that was what made me want to bring the little daisies, like I did little daisies. I can bring it over and show you there if you want. The clear things that I remember about it were the dark soil and the deeply, fully rested feeling, and the feeling of being held, like really enfolded in like safekeeping in a womb, like rich space of abundant gestation or something like that. It was really a very peaceful thing for me, and it's nice even again to talk about it actually, because it's bringing it to life a wee bit for me again. I think sometimes drawing out images like that can be quite a powerful thing. It might not feel it at the time of the thing, but later on if you come upon it, it can bring a bit of a lift to the heart, or just it's kind of a soothing quality. So it might not be that the message at the time you get it is the time that it's most useful to you, but I think it's worth always drawing it out, whatever way you draw it. It could be, I actually physically do see it visually, so I draw it out that way. You could write in words, I suppose. You could kind of write quite a bit about it too. If at the time it was quite clear to you. You could write something out, and then that's the thing that might sustain you another day when you really need it, that kind of sustenance. There was something about a rainbow as well, actually. I'm getting new ideas now as I'm talking to you. But the future self came back with this kind of, oh yeah, she shrouded me in this green cloak as well. I mean, it wasn't all like deeply spiritual stuff. It was actually quite fun just dancing around on my own in the dark in the living room. But it was this kind of symbolic stuff. It felt nice. So there we are. I think that's as far as I'm going to get in the cyclamen. And it's a lot easier actually drawing like that, not having, where are you? Hey, a lot easier not having to show you the flower, and when it's just coming from my own head it was simpler. That's the picture on the table over there. I'll just get it and show it to you, sure. There's a few more in this book actually, of that kind of idea. Let's see. I never know what you'd come upon here. Oh, look at that feather, isn't that gorgeous? I found that feather in the woods one day. That little one at the top there, homecoming. It's different on different days as different things come out. That was quite a restful image. And then there's other ones that are a bit more like, way. You get the idea. Right, I'll get the one that I did yesterday, and then I'll say goodbye to you for the evening. Ooh, everything is done a lot more slowly and mindfully at the moment. Ooh. So that's that. That's that one. Midnight started eating it this morning. That's why the corner's gone out of it. This is beautiful handmade paper by my daughter Hope made this paper for me. So I've been playing about with all the coloured pens on it. Okay, thanks for staying with me on this little kind of weird video. And but this is powerful stuff for me as well. I love this kind of playing about with images from my imagination, really, or possibly the spirit world, wherever. It's quite exciting just to use colour and just feel like whatever I want to draw, I can do it. And I'd recommend getting some brightly coloured pens for yourself. That's always really exciting to have loads of pens like this box. Is a good inspiration for me. Different colours and different kind of thicknesses of pen in there. Some are glittery and some are like painty pens. So I was able to, I still want to get more like brighter colours for those flowers. Do you remember the flowers I was talking about? I want them to be brighter than they are there. Okay, right, I'll see you tomorrow. You never know, I might be back to the sunflowers tomorrow. Okay, bye.